Hi, in this video we are going to build the Middleton Mills by Railway Design Associates, and here is a picture of their finished product, and here is a outline of what we're going to be going over, and we're going to look at the sprues, the required supplies, paint technique, the different steps, setting the edges, gluing the walls, the windows, the floors, roof sections, squaring the ends, weathering, and we're going to have some fun. Now this project has been practically completed, but I did it in such a way that we can look at all the individual steps and see some of the challenges, and hopefully the video won't take very long, and we can cut right to the important factors. Now as you can see, I did some modifications from the original, in that I added a floor and also the light, and put some stairs in, and we'll talk about some of these things too. But first of all, we're going to talk about the different parts that come with the package. And it's the actually there's 6 wall sections, and 2 just like this, that section and this section. And there's some details, which are these crates and barrels and sacks, the windows, and a sprue with some roof vents and other parts, sign, different little things. So this is what come with the package. Now I'm going to use a paint technique I've used before, and that is just using some plain old spray paint that I purchased at Walmart. And here's the different paints that I used. And I first use a coat of primer, and I use one that where I like the color, and this one looked a lot like the brick color that I wanted. And I sprayed all of the outside walls with the coat of primer, and I let it set for 24 hours. Even though it says dries top coat in minutes, I like to wait. And then I went to make the grout effect that I have on here, and the kind of old-fashioned effect. I used a combination of both the white and the gray, and what I did was I sprayed these on, and within a minute or two used a piece of old t-shirt or like a cotton cloth, and rubbed the surface off so as to leave some of the paint residue in the cracks. And I was going for kind of a random appearance, and here you can kind of see what in some places it's more white, and here we have more of the gray. And another thing that you can do, like a step before you do this top coating, is you could go around and paint some of these bricks a different color. But I've noticed that with this particular one, it didn't really show up that much. So I think it looks good just to do just to use the spray paint, and to get a little bit of a randomness with your second coating, which is your white and gray, and then go on with your cloth. And if you don't like it, you can rub it off substantially and try recoating it. So so there we have our paint technique, and I think we get a pretty nice finished product. Towards the end there, I did a couple other little things where I used some black paint watered down, and put it on in some edges and some corners, and just put it on, and then waited a couple seconds and rubbed it off. And here you can see the doors. I did a little bit differently to use some India ink and water, and then I used some green paint too, so I get a little bit of color in the project. So there's the painting technique. Now, to get the pieces to fit together required smoothing, making a straight edge along here and where these join together. And in order to do that, I used a knife or a razor blade, and I used a sandpaper. And I went and I sanded and got them so they were flat, so they would fit together without any air, light to get through in between. And once I got that all done, I first attached these two walls together. Before I did the end pieces, before I did the end, I did the two walls. And I cut a couple pieces of scale 6x6 or 8x8 lumber. That was the appropriate length, which would actually fit, so the walls would fit together here in the corners. This being the inside and this being the outside piece. And I glued that so I got a nice straight wall. I think it would be difficult to have a straight wall without adding a piece of lumber or something, or maybe a piece of plastic to make it straight. And these also double as a floor joist or a floor holder for the cardboard floor that I made. So we did that with each side. And on one end, I put the floor holder here on the second floor. On the other end, I used the floor holder on the bottom floor. And that's how I did the preparation. Then I went ahead and I glued both sections. So we had two duplicate sections, each one with an end piece on. And this was for handling purposes, and also so we could get one really nice straight corner, perfectly square corner. And I used my square to get a perfect 90-degree angle here. And in order to do that, I just set them down on the table here, and I just put my drops of glue up and down about every eighth of an inch to a quarter of an inch apart, a drop of glue all the way down, and held it together and laid my square here, and I use this technique with the square like this. And I get them perfectly square, and then I glue them together. So each piece is perfectly square here, and that way the roof fits and the two ends fit together, and we get a real nice looking model. Okay, now the windows came on a separate sprue, and I decided for just to break up the model a little bit, I used a different color. I used the black on the windows, and I didn't put the plastic in until the very end. So the plastic was one of the final steps just before this final assembly. But I noticed that most of my windows, I actually had to do some modification in order to get the window to fit. And right here on the bottom of each window, I had to take off a little bit of plastic, and so the window would fit flush like that. So anyway, I had to, the end windows fit just perfect, but I had to do that on all of these wall windows, and so it made this model a little bit more of a challenge than what I was anticipating. So I had just taken my knife and cut just into this plastic a little bit, just to make it a little bit wider, and then the technique I used to glue the windows, I just put a few drops of glue on, and small drops because we don't want to smear, we don't want to have a big gob all over the place here, and 3 or 4 drops of glue on, and then set the window in place, and it fit real nice just by doing that little modification. So there we have the windows, and like I said, I put the plastic in at the very end. And then I made floors out of cereal box, out of cardboard. And these, I had a product I purchased at a hobby store that looks like wood. It's just a piece of paper that I glued to the top. And I added put some crates in here, so when the light's on, there's something inside. I put them in front of the doors. And then for the bottom floor, I just used a bunch of toothpicks to add rigidity to the floor. And I actually, it was a 2-step process to where I glued two cereal box pieces together, and the colored paper is in the middle, so it's like this, just the cardboard color on the outside, on each outside, and I glued that between a bunch of books, and then I about 6 hours later, I put the pieces of toothpick on, and I used CA glue for the toothpick, whereas I used Elmer glue for the cardboard. and I put the toothpicks on with that, and I also put it between the books for just like an hour, and because I didn't want the indentation of the toothpick to show through the floor. And then I took it out, and then I let it set overnight, and that's the bottom floor. And the top floor, I did a little bit differently, made it look more like floor joists, and here I have a ladder we're going to glue in there too. It was actually glued in, but with my handling here it came out. But before we do the assembly here, we're gonna glue that thing back in too. And I put a couple of I put a light in here, and I just covered the light up with a little room. But it's a LED light, and it's going to show through the ceiling, and it actually looks pretty cool when it's lit up. And then this just runs down the wall and through a hole and through the floor. And so this is the part. It's really difficult to see, but I thought I would do something fancy here anyways, in case somebody looks into the windows. There's something there, and just a door, and it's just made out of cardboard here, a little room, and it is right underneath one of the chimneys. It could be like a boiler room, for instance. So now we have all that done, and we can actually glue these pieces together. And so we're going to put my technique that I always use is we put our drop of glue on. I always use a sharpened toothpick to apply the glue. And here we go with our drop of glue. And then this is a little bit tricky doing it like this, because I got to put these two pieces together at the same time. And we're going to be gluing the floors, we're going to be gluing the walls. It's just going to be like one step. And you can see here I already scraped the paint off. I had painted the interior white, and I scraped that off and I roughened it up. And then this edge here, I previously got this straight using sandpaper as well. So anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and put my drops of glue on, because we're going to be gluing this together. And I got looks like I'm putting these about 1/4 inch apart, but I just want to put drops of glue all the way up here. And this doesn't have to like go on immediately. I mean, it's going to be about a minute before I get to putting these together, because I'm going to be putting drops of glue on that piece, on this piece, on the floor, where the floor is going to fit. And so I see I got kind of a big gob on there, but we're going to just get drops all the way up. And this glue is super strong. This is the Gorilla Glue, the Dries Clear Gorilla Glue. I've purchased some that had some little white bubbles in it, and I don't think you want that kind. But I'm going to show you in just a second here what the jar looks like. But the Dries Clear is really nice, makes a really strong bond. This is the one, Super Glue Gorilla. And I use this for lots of stuff. I use it on wood, I use it on all my models, and I really like it. So there's that part, and then the floor is going to go on here too. And so we're going to need a little bit more glue. So anyway, I just like to put a pile on a piece of paper, and some guys get fancier, styrofoam and stuff, which is fine, you know, whatever you want to do. And I'm just going to put some drops along here. And this isn't super crucial because the floor, well, you need some glue for sure, but the floor is reinforced, so the floor is going to stay nice and rigid no matter what. And this is more or less, you know, if you move or if you start handling the piece, this is supposed to go on top here. So if you handle the piece, you know, it's going to stay together. If you have kids around, you know, things are going to stay together because they're going to maybe get into stuff. So there's that piece is glued, and then we'll get some drops here on the second floor. Again, you know, that's kind of a thick gob there, but anyway, we'll just get right across here and make sure we get a few good drops. And this stuff is going to bind really fast to the cardboard, and I'm going to put a couple on the bottom floor here too. And like I said, this isn't that crucial. You want to get some on there, but we have a rigid floor that we're gluing together, so that's not that big a deal. So we got that on. You know, I think I'm going to put a couple drops on the end while I'm at it too. And Now the floor and everything's got to be measured very, very well. And the better you measure, everything is just going to go easier. You don't want anything too big, and if it's too small, it's going to fall through. It's going to look bad. But I have my hole for the light here, and so the first thing I have to do is I have to feed my wires through the hole. And so let's line it up here so you can see what's going on. But there's the hole in the bottom floor, and the wires have to go through that. And this is the wires for the light. So let's get that in there right now. That has to go in first. And we have, we got the glue going up and down all over the place. So we got to keep that in mind. And if we do rub some of the glue off, we just go ahead and put some more glue on. So that's there, and this can be handled right here. Okay, and I pull, I'm going to pull some more of the wire through here. There. Get that wire pulled through there. There we go. And then this piece can go on top there where it's going to go. And the bottom floor. And everything kind of goes together, and make sure everything's under there right, and make sure my corners are good. And that was really fast, but now everything is just perfect. So now I'm just going to hold it together for a few seconds, 15-20 seconds, and let this glue bond. And yeah, it's a real solid. We got a real solid join there, and we got a real solid piece here. And I already did. Let's get the stairs in. Okay, the stairs I thought I had them glued in there good enough so they wouldn't fall out, but I was handling it here, and I'm just gonna put a couple drops of glue. And I'm not gonna glue on the roof, so if there's a problem inside here down the road, there we got the steps in there. If there's a problem down the road, we don't have to worry about the roof falling apart on us. Okay, now is we're gonna do the battery. We're gonna get the light going, and it's LED, so we got to have the plus and minus correct in order for it to work. And I usually just do a trial and error. There we go, excellent. There we got the light on, and I'll turn it around this way so you can get there we got the light on. It shows through there. You can see the ladder showing through there. And when we finally get this on the final model, that's kind of like a finishing touch. Now here's the roof, and I had the pieces, it came with the pieces for the roof. I had to trim them so they were the proper size. I also had to figure out the angle myself, a 15-degree angle, and cut them. And then I added the tar paper, which is just paper towel painted black, and cut in scale 3-foot strips. And like I said, I have it here, so it can come off and on. And there we have the roof. It's our finished, pretty much our finished product. And there you can see the light shining through. Did a little bit of weathering up here, and I'm gonna put it on the layout, and we're gonna just, this is what I call having fun. The having fun part is when we can get a picture with our stuff. And especially, with a little bit of action going on, and just about done. We're just about perfect timing here with this video. But okay, here's the other one I made on the other video. Here's this one, and I have it here, little diorama, and use some of this here patch plus primer to make these cement pads. And I use the India ink and water. This here India ink product and water, and I'll have to go over it again, but that you know, makes it look like cement, and that's supposed to be cement there. And here's our HO scale truck, and a couple of my favorite box cars. And here we go. There's the loading dock that came with it. I put some stuff on there. And here's the looking into the building. There you can see the light, and a little bit of there. That's what we're going for right there. So there we have it. Railway Design Associates, Middleton Mills, and have fun.